I have you had this happen? Like your like social media ads, it pops up like shit that you talked about like in real life, or we're somehow like sort of tangentially
I'm just really enjoying this
mentioned.
old guy computer commentary right now, but go on.
Well, I just want to make sure you understand what I'm talking
I
about.
do, I understand. Yeah, it's happened to me. It's
Okay,
happened to me. Yeah.
yeah.
It's
So I've been getting ads for a performer called Sax Squatch.
Sax Squatch.
S-A-X. Yes,
Is he good?
SAXXSQUATCH.
I hope he's good.
I'm
It would
gonna
be bad for us to like blast this indie musician if he's not good.
I'm gonna share just a little bit because obviously,
Mm-hmm.
you know, last time we did this, we got put in time out by YouTube or whatever. They took down
Yeah, we can't deal with that,
our
Jason. I can't.
That's right,
I can't. If they throw the book at me,
right.
how many pages are in the book when they say throw the
That's
book?
an that's an excellent question.
I hope it's a
I have no
novella.
idea, but I know like fair use we can get away with like 10 or 15 seconds.
Okay.
Plus, this is essentially an ad, right? So I don't know why anyone would complain, but
Yeah.
and this guy, like when I saw it, I thought, oh, this is a local Denver thing because it's sort of tracks.
Mm-hmm.
But no, this guy's like touring the country.
Good.
Okay, so I'll give you a little taste of Sasquatch. Or not. It's not doing anything.
No, it's going.
Okay.
This is good.
All right. That's enough. I
I
don't
like
want to. I
that.
don't want to
I
get us in
enjoyed
trouble.
that. You know what, Jason? Thank you for a beautiful
Yeah.
break in my day. That was very nice.
Yeah. And the sack squatch angle, and I presume this is a guy in a suit. I'm assuming this isn't the actual Sasquatch.
Well, you don't know that.
I don't.
That
But
would be
as
the
much as
perfect place to hide.
exactly. No, I get that. But as much as we've like talked about and researched Bigfoot and Sasquatch and Yetis, musical talent never was like at the forefront of that.
Well,
And this
maybe it's
cat could
because
wail on that sax.
yeah, and
Like,
maybe Jason, that's the thing. Maybe we've been spending a lot of time talking about Sasquatch, and what you and I need to do is sit our white asses down and listen.
give him a real listen. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
the
agree.
rest of this episode will be silent.
Right. Just us listening to Sasquatch. I honestly, I would go to the show. Tickets are like $125 though, dude.
Oh yeah, and you're a
Like,
broke ass
like
bitch. I forgot.
for
Yeah.
well, I mean for some kind of a lark, like that's kind
That
of a
what
lot
do you
of money.
mean a lark? What do you mean a fucking lark? Is this podcast a lark? Is
A
Da
little
Vinci
bit,
a
yeah.
lark? Is
Da Vinci.
is the Pope a lark? Is
Kind of.
is
He's about to die, I think.
is no, he got better for March Madness. Is Michael Bay a
Okay.
lark? Is
Kind of. He's dead, right?
Michael
think
Bay
he's
is
dead.
not no, he's not dead.
Isn't he?
No.
Oh, it's the other guy. It's the other guy.
Michelangelo?
Simpson, his buddy. Michelangelo's dead.
Michelangelo is dead and gay, but he didn't die from being gay, and that's good.
No.
Anyway, welcome to Underworld News Tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Andrew Michaels, and I'm wasting away again in Margaritaville, looking for my lost shaker of salt. Do you know why, Jason?
Why is that?
I have the next week off of work, so I'm sipping on high noon alcoholic iced teas. I'm getting ready for my show on Wednesday, the 19th, 9 p.m., St. Mark's Comedy Club. Tickets, the link in my Instagram bio, Andrew Michaels Comedy. And I'm ready to do an exciting day of podcasting with my bestest pal. Now you
nice.
might know him.
When's he showing up?
With my bestest pal, Joe Rogan.
Wow.
Did you know he has a podcast? I just like talking to him about vaccines and stuff.
Yeah. No, I think I had heard that. I think I'd heard he's been podcasting for a little bit. It's kind of small underground, but
Yeah. It's crazy how much normal people have to talk about the guy from Fear Factor now.
right.
Like it's a weird. All right, but anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. Jason,
No.
I
Yeah.
think that you won an award recently. And you're a humble guy. You're one of the most humble people I know. So you're not the type to really brag about it, but I am.
No.
2025 winner of Beaver Creek's biggest boy, Jason Strong.
You're goddamn right.
I couldn't think of what to say about you today.
And
then I cracked open this High Noon peach vodka iced tea, and I thought Beaver Creek's biggest boy, and I thought that was something.
No, I like that. Maybe I'll get a T-shirt made. It's funny. I'm actually pulling on a Palisade Peach wheat beer.
Nice. Yeah, I got a variety pack of High Noon teas today because I went to the liquor store, and it was one of those liquor stores that doesn't have beer, but they have fucking High Noon for some reason. What's that about? This is a new segment of the show.
What's that about? Yeah,
it's a new segment of the show. It's called What's That About? Jason, I went to a liquor store today. They had wine, they had liquor, they had fucking High Noon and pre-mixed Jack and Coke cans, but they didn't have any beer. Jason, I have one question for you.
What's that?
What's that about?
Man, I don't know. That seems fucked up, honestly. Until like, I don't know. Certainly within the past like 5-10 years, you could only get beer in Colorado at liquor stores. Like now
crazy.
we passed a law where you can get it at like the grocery store, but so it's weird to me. I can't imagine a liquor store that does not have beer.
Do they at least let you drink it when you drive, though?
I mean, they prefer not to. They have some things to say if they catch you, but you know how it is.
This is a hot take.
The man always trying to keep you from having fun.
This is a hot take for my upcoming campaign for mayor that's going to start as a joke and get way too serious, way too fast in 9 years.
Yeah.
I think you should be allowed to drink on the subway. I think, people do it. We've all had a little sippy on the subway on a special occasion, right? And I think they should just legalize, just let me drink on the subway. Are they going to investigate every... If I had an open beer and a cop walked by me, it's a problem, right? But if I'm going to a party and I put a little whiskey in a Starbucks cup and, nobody's going to... They don't have the time. Yeah. And you know what? It's my fucking constitutional right.
Right.
As an American. Yeah.
I don't know about the L, but in Chicago on the trains, they sold beer. Like you could drink beer like on the way home from work. Or to work, I suppose, but
people do. People do crack on the train in New York.
They do. Yeah,
yeah. You're not supposed to walk between the cars, but I think if someone's doing crack on your train car, it's an exception. You are allowed to walk between the cars to let him do crack in peace, and that's better for everybody. You know, I'm not on the car where he's doing crack, and I don't think he wants me on the. I'm not a good crack vibe. Would you do crack around me, Jason?
No.
That sucks. Yeah, that sucks because you could stand to lose a few pounds.
Now meth.
Oh yeah, I'm a good.
We
meth
might have
friend.
something going on there, but yeah.
Oh fuck yeah.
Crack? No, not crack.
It'd be hard to podcast without teeth, though.
No, that's surprisingly easy.
Yeah, I guess you just get dentures.
And
the thing is, I feel like you could pop anything in there if you can't afford dentures, right? Mm-hmm. Just like, how many teeth do people have? Like 11? 11 rocks.
Something. Yeah.
Is basically dentures, the working man's dentures.
Mm-hmm. Those, the plastic vampire teeth you wear on Halloween.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Perfectly fine.
I think it works, yeah.
Yeah.
Jason, we're not here to offer our very practical dentistry advice. We're not here to talk about my vacation. We're not here to talk about your status as a big boy.
That's right.
We could.
Mm-hmm.
You are a big boy.
I'd like to say it. I am.
What's that like for you?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of on a couple different levels being a big boy. I have a lot of mass.
Yeah.
I'm a broad guy, so
Yeah.
there's that level, and also I'm just kind of important. People when they see me know that
Yeah.
I'm someone they should listen to.
Mhm.
I'm someone with opinions, ideas, thoughts. Yeah, so
Now, I just
it's
want to
not
be
bad.
clear about this, and it's mostly for our listeners, right? Because we're
Yeah.
saying you're a big boy, and I don't think people have a good picture of like how big of a boy you are.
Hmm.
I've been to Six Flags with him, and he can straight up go on all the rides.
That's right.
Straight up,
And
everyone.
it's not even a question.
Yeah,
They
the
don't even have
Batman
to get
ride,
out. Yeah. They don't have to
Superman
get.
First Flight,
Uh-huh.
Green
Yep, all of
Lantern,
them.
Come
Mhm.
Mountain.
Uh-huh. That's yeah. Come Mountain, huh?
Yeah.
Remind me, what was Come Mountain?
That's the ride that's in that guy. That's the ride that's in the guy who works at the funnel cake place's van.
That's right.
Did you go on that
Yeah,
ride?
I did. It was a
It
little
was he told me it was one at a time, so
little
I wasn't sure.
disappointing at first, but it really got exciting towards the
Yeah,
end.
yeah. I
Mhm.
don't. Mountain's a bit of a stretch, I will say. Mountain's a bit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, right. But it's also like there's not really Superman on the Superman ride. So it's just sort of an advertising thing,
That's
I
true.
assumed.
Yeah, it's free. I
It
mean,
kind of sucks. It kind
he
of
paid
sucks that
me.
you have to pay like $45 for the photo. At the end of it though, that feels a little bit like
Yeah,
price gouging, but
yeah. Especially when
with
his
your
eyes are
arms
blurred
up
out
and
in
the
it. Oh my god.
Did
Yeah,
you say the weird, wacky, and wild
we are
yet?
bringing you
When
the
we do the
weird,
news?
wacky, and wild news of the week. Starting with this
Hmm.
story, read to us by the biggest, wettest boy, Jason Strong.
Yep. I don't wet, not so much wet, maybe moist.
I edit out a lot of
Uh,
dripping noises
yeah,
in the
it's
podcast.
a surprising amount. Yeah. Our first story comes to us from the Daily Beast.
I use him to soften stale bread. What I'll do is if I have a stale
Hmm.
loaf of bread, I'll just put it under Jason for like an hour or two, like you at his
Yeah.
desk or whatever, and then I'll take it back and like it's a little wet, but it makes good French toast.
Hmm. Yeah, that is gross, dude. Anyway, Daily Beast. Uh, written by Keneal Patterson.
All right.
Daily Beast. This is didn't this start? Isn't this kind of a like political?
You
The
know,
story's not political, but
some could
isn't it?
say that everything is political, Jason. Now, if you look at the
I mean, could.
semiotics by which we approach society,
Sure.
like even when I talk to you, what's at
Hmm.
play, right? There's a psychosexual slave master dynamic that we've established long ago, right? That's why you have that collar on. And that in and of
Sure.
itself, right, has political implications. Why do you want to
Hmm.
bow down to a younger, more virile man with a full head of hair,
Hmm.
and no gout,
Hmm.
right? That in and of itself, right? It
Right.
says a lot about access
Hmm.
to health care. It says a lot about
Uh-huh.
the economy. It says a lot
Values.
about
Yeah. Hmm.
upward mobility for Italian Americans.
Okay. Sure.
So, like, there's a lot going on there. So, to answer your question, Jason, yes, the Daily Beast is political.
It's political. Yeah. All right. Headline: Starbucks must pay $50 million after tea burns man's genitals.
Man,
Maybe I should have given a warning because this is it's a little disturbing.
can I just
I don't
say,
know if
like,
hmm,
a lot of people are going to be on Starbucks' side here. But I
right.
have to ask them for a straw every time I go. At a
Yeah.
certain point, I'm going to use my built-in one.
How does that work?
You never taken a reverse
Exactly.
piss, dude? You
No,
stick
it's
your
always
dick in
kind of
your drink and do some
been
kegels.
unidirectional. Oh, man, I didn't practice, but not if it's too hot, as we're about to see.
Yeah, no, you do that with an iced. It's really good on an iced peppermint.
Sure.
On the syrup. Light on the syrup. Light on the
Okay.
syrup.
Okay, that's important. Starbucks owes a man $50 million after a cup of tea spilled on his lap at a California drive-thru and permanently disfigured his genitals.
Man,
Yeah, this is
he's got that Anakin Skywalker at the end of episode 3, Dick.
Yeah. An employee handed delivery driver Michael Garcia a takeout tray containing the
no, it's a
scorching
delivery
beverage.
driver. Now I feel bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have felt bad if it was
him.
a guy buying his coffee anyway, but it's like, because he also didn't get paid for the order because the guy didn't get his drink.
Right. And it's tea, too, so I don't know.
Yeah, why the fuck who's door dashing tea? Because tea, you gotta let it steep for a limited amount of time and then take it out. So why the fuck? Sorry, I don't mean to cuss on here. I know we don't do that.
We're
but
family
why
friendly.
in the fucking cunting shit are you door dashing tea? You fuck ass bitch. Like, again, I don't mean to swear.
Mm-hmm. You've never done like driven DoorDash or have you done any of the app stuff before? I did like during COVID.
I bit a guy in the dick that I met on Grindr. Does that count?
Did he pay you for it?
No,
or did
I should
an
have
app
asked.
pay you?
No.
Did you get a rating afterwards?
Probably wouldn't have been very good. I don't think he was into it. Neither was I. I mean, yeah. Sometimes your jaw clenches up. We've talked about it.
Yeah.
My dad doesn't need to hear about it again. He'll stop listening to the show.
Yeah. Right. And there's half our audience right there. The painful injuries in his groin left him permanently scarred, and he was forced to undergo medical procedures and skin grafts. A jury awarded Garcia $5 million on Friday, finding that the employee had not properly wedged the drink into the takeout tray before handing it to him.
All right, this is a joke that doesn't have any legal status if something happens to my penis.
Okay.
I'm going to say I don't think my penis is worth $5 million. I could ask my girlfriend.
It's $50 million.
$50 million? Yeah. $5 million or 50?
50. What did I say?
You said I thought you said 5.
No, it's $50 million.
My penis definitely isn't worth $50 million. How much does how much does a doctor who cures child cancer make over their lifetime? It's not $50 million.
Not $50 million.
You're telling me my penis is worth more than the entire career of a guy curing child cancer. What would Peter Singer say?
I wonder if like that's a good point.
That's for our philosophy fan listeners.
Our Australian philosophers, yeah. I don't
Thanks for listening, Pete.
Like an entire modern day hospital, does that even cost $50 million?
Oh yeah, definitely. No, like real estate costs a lot of money, and a building costs a lot of money, especially in a high density area. But all I'm saying is listen. And again, this was all a joke and not legally binding in any way. So if something happens to my penis, it's worth $200 billion. But as far as these definite joke thoughts that won't come back to bite me if I ever get a penile injury.
Or burn you, as the case may be.
But no, how much do you think your dick is worth? Legally non-binding, parody non-actionable.
I think a lot goes into that calculation. Like, because it's not just, it's not just like your dick, right? Like in and of itself. But think of all the like dick utility that you're going to lose out on for the rest of your life.
Peeing
like
and
me,
sex.
I'm old. So mine probably less than yours because you have more to go, more life to go.
Jay,
with
you
your
are what you are what some would call a daddy bear, Jason, and I think you're selling yourself short.
I'm just saying, as like a jury calculation. I've got 20 years more in me. He's
Jason
50.
V Strong on Instagram if you want to make him feel better about his sexual value. I think you could do a lot with those 20 years, Jason. I think you could do a lot with those 20 years.
Oh no,
Um,
I can lay some pipe in that time, but I'm saying
yeah,
you get
I think
50.
people can do wild positions with you, riding your gut like a carousel, and each one taking a turn on your dick, leapfrogging over each other in a sick fucking game of hopscotch.
I never should have let you install that camera in my house. You do not need to be seeing what I'm
All right,
doing
all I'm
on
saying is,
Saturday
listen.
nights.
It's not that I think my dick's worth nothing. I think I'm turning 30 this year.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say I live to be, I'm gonna say 85, because when you see a 90-year-old, they're
Sure.
not like thrilled to be here. So 85 is
Right.
good, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's 55 more years.
Right.
Let's say I have sex twice a week in that time, which is like a lot, like for like consistently during that life. But actually, let's shave off the last 10. I'm not going to be able to use my dick from 75 to 85 because the Cialis will kill me, right?
Sure.
You know what this is like. So 45
yeah.
years,
Mm-hmm.
right? 45 years,
Uh-huh.
2 times having sex a week. That's 2 times 52, 104 times 45, 4,020 fucks. I have 4,020 fucks left in my lifetime by a very liberal estimate, right?
Right. How much is each one worth? $10? $150?
I don't know if my girlfriend listens to the show. I feel like I should actually stop this line of questioning. It's because there's no answer. Yeah, I think any answer I actually give to this will get me in trouble, even if it's the right answer. That's the problem, because I'd be mad hearing the right answer.
Yeah. Let me finish it, and then I do have some thoughts here. Where was that? Oh, his lawyers claim that
Let me finish it. That's something this guy's never going to get to say again.
That's right. His lawyers claim that the verdict was, quote, critical step and holding Starbucks accountable for flagrant disregard for customer safety. Starbucks denied fault and said that the damages were, quote, excessive. Garcia's win mirrors a 1990s lawsuit against McDonald's,
famous
in which
suit,
a woman was awarded
one that was very
$3 million.
misrepresented in media in the 2000s, like, you know.
Yes, yeah.
And I will say, I
was going to bring that up, that like, there's a lot, you know, there's a certain kind of asshole that uses these sorts of suits to kind of poo-poo the legal system or lawyers.
No, I wouldn't poo-poo PP or number 3, the legal system.
But at least in the McDonald's one, like, we know that they knew their coffee was too hot. They were warned. They kept doing it. Woman got burnt. That's why
and she got burnt
$3
real
million.
Bad.
Yeah, like 3rd-degree burnt, same as this guy.
And it's
like,
worse for,
an
app driver, you know, who's, you know, this is a...
Right, it's not even his tea.
It's not even, he doesn't even get to drink it. And again, like, why the fuck, if you're ordering tea on DoorDash, what the fuck are you doing? So, I agree, fuck Starbucks. There is a real question as to the monetary value of a penis, and I stand by that. Right? There is a real question there. And if I was Starbucks' lawyer, that is the argument I would be making, is I think there are very few penises that are worth 50 million. How much is actually, who's a really good best active soccer player? I'm going to see the value of the best active. So
I thought you were going to say penis model.
I'm looking at the insurance value of hold on one second. Kylian Mbappe's knee.
Okay.
Because according to my Google search, he's the best soccer player. Don't get mad if he's not.
I don't know. You could very well be right. I can't tell you a thing one about soccer.
Okay, so hold on one second. So I'm looking at extreme athlete insurance policies right now. So the highest insurance policy on an athlete's body is Lionel Messi. This is according to abbeyautoonline.co.uk, the best source of legal news. The number one is Lionel Messi had a $750 million Euro insurance policy on his leg. Forward in Argentina. I think that's actually, like, again, for that level, it's very reasonable. David Beckham insured his legs for €100 million. Cristiano Ronaldo, €90 million on his leg. The next one is Mark Maguire, $12 million on his ankle. Now, I think Mark Maguire's ankle probably has more financial value than a DoorDash driver's penis. And again, you know, because he doesn't make like his penis is not his livelihood, right? That's my argument.
Presumably, but what if he's like he does porn?
That's true.
Like
Does
if
he
it
do porn?
like what is well, this doesn't say.
Can we watch
I'm
it
just
on the show? Will
speculating.
Spotify get mad if I play the porn and that's the video episode and we just watch porn and kind of
just
masturbate to
hardcore
it?
porn.
We just masturbate to this DoorDash driver's porn that he can't make anymore, and we cry while we do it, so it's art because he can't make it anymore. And that's
Sure.
sad.
Uh-huh.
It's like how Julie Andrews can't sing anymore.
That's really sad.
Same thing.
That is really sad.
And
you
this
really
DoorDash driver can't fuck her bitch.
And I guarantee that, like, the $500 million judgment, or excuse me, I keep changing the fucking amount, don't I? The $50 million judgment.
Yeah, $500 million would be insane.
It's going to quietly be, like, way low. Like, this guy is getting, like, he's going to get 1 or 2% of this. Like, on appeal, this is going to get way knocked down.
Yeah,
but
I'm
it
sure.
won't be like in the media as much. So this cat's not getting $50 million.
All right, so Kobayashi. All right, number one, Jason, I've noticed that you call people cat a lot, and
yeah, is that a slur now, or I don't know?
I don't know. It's a bit, yeah. Are you a 1920s jazz man? What's going on?
In my soul, yeah.
Do you want to scat sing?
Kind of. Dooba dooba doo.
How was that? I've never scat sang before. How was that?
Hody 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 ho.
That's offensive to women. Kobayashi's stomach was insured for $100K.
Holy shit.
That's not a lot.
Not unreasonable.
That's not a lot of money. He should have insured his stomach for more. Kobayashi,
a professional eater doesn't make as much as like the world's best soccer player, though.
Kobayashi Net Worth. Holy shit, that's going to be the name of the episode. Kobayashi Net Worth. I'm going to see if we can. Kobayashi has a net worth of only 1.5 million. I'm going to say 1.5 million isn't worth eating that many hot dogs.
No.
Like, it's a lot of money, but not 350,000
no.
Nathan's hot dogs in 20 years money.
You're destroying your body for that shit.
Yeah. You think Kobayashi's dick works?
Like it's just he's just so like his blood is like 50% cholesterol. So he can't.
I think the only reason
it
might work is that it's a hot dog eating contest, and I think if he was a wing champion, it wouldn't work. But because it's a phallic food, I think it helps him. Is that an insane thing to say?
It is. Yeah.
Do you think that qualifies me for Secretary of Health?
It does. Yeah. I think we were both already qualified to be Secretary of Health.
Well, Jason, are you ready to get on to our next story?
I am.
No, I'm not, because I have to pee.
All right. Wheat. All right. Time for some advice. This, of course, comes as usual from Reddit, r/paranormal encounters.
All right. Let's fucking help these people out. I feel like I do a lot for the community by like honestly like being very fuckable, and that in and of itself is helpful. But
yeah. And that also, chest hair. The
chest hair hanging out. Yeah, you see that? Yeah, and the necklace just...
The little,
Yeah. Well, and not only that, but obviously by being, a comedic genius, one of the best podcasters, comedians, actors who did one table read in New York City of all time. And thus kind of a lot of people get to bask in my radiance. But no offense, Jason. You don't do anything for the community. You're a self-centered, wet Scrooge of a man. Sorry, of a big boy. So I'm looking forward to finally, you helping someone for a change. Although I'm sure I'll be the one who gives the useful advice.
Yeah. Yep. As usual.
Just like I usually do financially and medically. And legally.
Yeah. This is posted by user No I Mean Not Really.
Okay. So take that in mind. We have to take this with a grain
of salt. Yeah.
Why do they say that? If something's not true, you take it with a grain of salt? Because I like salt.
Me too. That's actually a good question.
My favorite foods are all
I don't
salty.
know.
French fries, salty food.
Salty, yeah.
Wings are pretty
Giant pretzels.
salty.
Wings can be salty.
Fried chicken in general, salty food. I like salted watermelon, inherently salty. Prosciutto and melon, salty. It's a cured meat. What do you mean salted water? You never had salted watermelon?
No.
This is a second new segment of the show. It's called Jason. You've never had salted watermelon. I'm sorry, Jason. You've never had salted watermelon. End of segment.
All right. No, I mean, not really. Title: Has anyone had strange experiences with smart speakers like Alexa? I'm curious.
Yeah,
if anyone else...
one of them looked at me and said, "Look at this 5'5" bitch in his gay little shoes." And I said, "I just want you to play Billy Joel."
I'm curious if anyone else has ever had odd/paranormal things happen with their Alexa devices as though they were serving as makeshift spirit boxes. My mother passed away unexpectedly at our home in May 2022.
You think it's sadder? Because, all right, this is a bit dark. My mom passed away expectedly. Is expectedly or unexpectedly sadder? Because the expecting part is sad, but it's probably sadder when it happens unexpectedly.
I suppose that's a good question. I think if it's expectedly, you sort of brace yourself. You know, you kind of have time to...
Yeah, it's true.
Like, emotionally prepare. Whereas, you know, if they just drop dead, then kind of a shock.
I think it's kind of fucked up for you to rank tragedies like that, but go on.
I mean, you fucking asked. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, but I'm the comedic goofball. You're supposed to be the voice of conscience.
Well, it's impossible to rank everyone's pain is the worst pain in the world to them, and it doesn't. It could be expected, unexpected, planned.
You know what? You know what? Actually,
accidental.
no. You know what? I could rank. I know who has the worst pain in the world. Who? What if you lost both of your parents and your kid in 9/11 on the same day that you lost your penis in Vietnam?
Is this... I mean, that would be really bad. It seems like it involves some time travel or like...
I didn't say the war. I didn't say the war, Jason. You said the war. I didn't say the war.
Okay. Like you're just like vacationing.
Yeah. And you leave it in the hotel or some shit.
Right. And then you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
You're on the plane and it's like, well, I can't go back now. Yeah. Now I lost it.
Number 2 pain was me last week when my barber shop got shut down by the IRS. I have to find a new one. Number 3, this lady.
I would say number 3, burning your genitals with
Starbucks tea.
Trying to deliver someone's tea.
Someone's fucking Earl Grey.
Right. Man, I hope it wasn't Earl Grey. I hope it was something like, you know, something with like some flavor, at least.
I hope it was a caffeinated tea. Would you rather burn your dick on a caffeinated tea or an uncaffeinated tea? I'd rather burn my dick on a caffeinated tea because if I burn it on an uncaffeinated tea, it's like my dick's hot and I'm tired.
I would hope that, like, why would you order an Earl Grey delivery? Like, just...
Why would you order any fucking tea?
You could make it
any goddamn tea. You know, you can make coffee at home too, but like a special coffee is different, right? So, like, you know, I don't have an espresso machine. I don't keep those
syrups and Rarely do I have whipped cream.
Yeah, you only get it for the nitrous.
All of it gets like huffed instantly. So I just have a bunch of dead bottles of whipped cream.
You know, I think I've probably said this on the show but I was a fat kid growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Never done a whippet on purpose, but I definitely did some accidental whippets as a kid.
Where the fuck was I even? Now I don't even remember. Okay.
That's why I'm my dumbest sibling.
Her will named me as her personal representative, so my wife and I moved into the home in July of that year in order to deal with all of her stuff and settle her estate. My mother and I were very close.
Interesting. So just so we know, this guy does fuck. Or girl. This guy fucks, or this girl fucks gay style with her wife.
How do you... How do you figure that? Well, it doesn't
Because
say
there's a
anything.
wife. There's a wife, and I
That
don't
doesn't
think they have a
that doesn't
sexless
mean
marriage.
anything.
Do you think they have a sexless, loveless marriage, Jason? Is that what you're saying?
I have no
Are
idea
you
what
gonna
kind of
look
marriage they
this
have.
Redditor? Are you gonna look this Redditor in the eyes and say, divorce your wife, because I think this marriage is loveless and you don't fuck? Is that what you're seriously saying?
Well, to quote their name, no, I mean not really.
Okay,
That's
great.
not what I'm saying. Yeah. um, God damn it. Keep it around. My mother and I were very close.
Dementia count.
There was a good deal of grief involved with the whole process. My mother was cremated, and we kept the urn in the living room. We
You want to
used.
hear a joke I would make if I was a clean comic working the funeral circuit?
Why not?
Why do they call it cremated? We're not turning them into milk.
That's kind of a bad joke.
Fuck you. I'd like to see you
That's
fucking
kind
get
of
up on
horrible.
this stage at this fucking
And make
nun's
a-
funeral and try.
Make a cremation joke.
This nun died in Vietnam.
We use Amazon Alexa smart speakers in most rooms to control the lights, set alarms, play music, etc. A few times, music would randomly start playing in the living room where the urn was, which wasn't that weird since Alexa speakers are
Or
known to
pieces of
mistakenly,
shit.
quote, hear their wake word and listen for a command. I would tell the speaker to stop the music, check the app to see what had been playing, but there was never be any record of it having heard a command. Again, odd, but not necessarily paranormal. One day, my brother called to tell me that my mother's dog, who had been taken in by a coworker of hers when she died, had passed away after being bitten by a snake in their backyard.
Dude,
man, these people just tragedy after
you
tragedy.
gotta pick. All right, listen. If I die unexpectedly, I want my dog to go to my friend with the least snakes in their yard.
Snakes in the yard.
Yeah,
I think that's fair.
How many snakes do you have in your yard right now?
To my knowledge, 0.
You want my dog if I die?
Not really. No.
All right, fuck. If you have 0 snakes in my yard and want a bad dog when I die, let me know.
Yeah, if I
Andrew
change my
Michaels
mind.
Comedy on Instagram.
Yeah. That night, music again started playing in the living room without a command. And when I asked Alexa what was playing, she said, "Now playing Goodbye Girl by such and such an artist." This felt oddly contextual, but again, not a paranormal smoking gun.
You should really remember the name of the artist that your dead mom or mother-in-law likes. I will say that.
A couple weeks after that, I was feeling particularly sad and missing my mom that day, sitting in the living room talking to her.
And then you do, I'm just going to say, as someone with a dead mom, you handle that normally by playing the scene from Land Before Time where Littlefoot thinks he sees his mom and it's really just his own shadow walking away and he runs towards the shadow crying on a loop. I did this on 8 a.m. on a Tuesday this week. Then you cry for like an hour or two and you're good. Mm-hmm. It's a healthy way to handle it.
Yeah. I said to the empty room that my wife and I were considering buying the house to stay there long term. As soon as I said that, one of the Alexa speakers in the kitchen lit up and a snippet of a song played where a chorus of people sang, "Boy, You're Welcome." I remember the album cover was blue, but disappeared quickly and I didn't catch what it was.
This is a beautiful story.
Kind of, yeah. It seemed like it had been in direct response to what I just said. I opened the Alexa app, and again, nothing. No recent commands, no recent history of anything having been played on any speakers. We've had the speakers for 5 or 6 years. This never happened in any other house we used them, only this one.
Man. Well,
yeah.
I don't have it. I mean, it seems like your mom wants you there, so I would just live there, you know.
No, I agree. This is different.
It's nice.
Seems like
she'd be happy.
She doesn't want story.
She wants roommates she knows.
Uh-huh.
Kind of sucks though, because you can't like if you're the wife, right, and your husband sucks, and your husband's the one with the dead mom. Like you kind of, it's like you got the mom's ghost listening in on every fucking argument, so that sucks.
Right.
Like you don't want to live with your mother-in-law.
Right. Right.
My girlfriend's mom's dead, which like sucks for her. My mom's also dead, so it balances out.
Yeah.
But it sucks for her. But I think for both of us, like, there's benefit.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
To the other's mom being dead.
And then you have the ghost mom like watching them fuck. Watching.
Well, I think that if you're a ghost, you probably get to
whatever.
choose what you watch. Like. Like if your living mom lives with you, she's going to go in the other room. Presumably the ghost mom will also go in the living room when you're fucking. Just don't fuck in the living room, But then again, if it's your house, you want to be able to fuck in the living room.
Why wouldn't you? You fuck in every room. Yeah.
I wouldn't fuck in the living room in my house. I want when I like buy a property, I want a glass coffee table, so I wouldn't fuck in the living room. But
no. Well, you don't have to use a coffee table.
No, but you're going to bump it. I have a cheap wood coffee table now, but like the living room's kind of my dog's side of the apartment, so I don't. That'd be rude because he doesn't have a nutsack.
Giving that up. Yeah.
I also only have I don't have a couch. I have 2 beanbag chairs, so that also would make it hard.
Hell yeah.
So there's really only the coffee table, and it's not big enough.
I'm trying to think. Pretty sure I've done it in a beanbag chair.
Wow. Good for you, Jason, talking about your sexual escapades.
My prowess. Yeah. I was able to overcome.
I don't think your back could handle that anymore. I'm turning 30 this year.
It could handle it.
My back and fucked up knees, dude.
Yeah.
If I fucked in a beanbag chair, the crunching noises she'd have to listen to when I got up, dude.
That sound like a bowl of Rice Krispies.
Sound like Pop Rops and Coke.
That's right. Have you you've never had like these smart devices, have you? I don't recall before you using an Alexa.
I had something. My ex-wife's dad gave us something, and we had it for like a year or two, and eventually I was like, I'm fucking tired of this thing, and I plugged it out because also it was like plugged in the kitchen, and I'm like, I could plug in like an appliance in here,
Sure. Right.
And like we were using it to like set timers, and it's like I have a phone.
Right.
So I don't know what the use is, right? my smartphone does everything I want it to. I don't know why I would need a thing that listens to all. My smartphone also listens to all my fucking conversations. So why do I need another thing to listen to all my conversations? I'm sure my fucking Miami Mint Geek Bar does as well. Hopefully they like the show.
I'm with you on that. Whatever marginal utility they offer, it doesn't seem worth it to also know that like fucking Jeff Bezos is just hoovering up all of this everything you say and
what do I need to
order
say,
and watch. Like
if I need to say turn, like I have a light switch, I don't need to say turn off the lights. I don't need to say play fucking ABBA because I have is it ABBA or ABBA?
I think we'll accept either one.
The band that sings the song Dancing Queen. Dancing Queen. Oh, yeah, it's a bad age, but she's a bad age. That's my criticism of that song.
Fun fact, an old roommate of mine, I mean old as in like this was a while ago, when he would work out, he would listen to Dancing Queen for some reason.
Can I give a scorching hot take?
That is not a joke.
Can I give you? No, it makes sense. It's a great song, but can I give a scorching hot take? 20 should be called 20-teen because that way you could make songs where the syllables work out with the age without sounding like a pedophile. Because Dancing Queen only 17 said Dancing Queen only 20-teen, and all of a sudden it's not as creepy.
Right. With that.
I guess it's not creepy for a teen for somebody underage to be good at dancing. It's just I don't think that's all. I don't know if that's. I feel like they're not just writing a song about
it. Right, and they're.
I don't think they're talking about like tap.
There's kind of a shocking amount of songs. About 17-year-olds.
That's what I'm saying, and I actually think part of it is the number of syllables. And if 20 was 20-teen, I think it would solve a lot of the problem.
No, I don't think you're wrong. That doesn't really fix the Beatles song, though.
No, because she was just too OT, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I don't know what you mean. She's 2000
She's
some years
20.
old.
She's 20, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I got you. Okay,
It means she's
yeah,
20.
yeah, and that's acceptable.
Yeah. It's weird to say,
Um,
she was just 17, if you know what I mean, because I know how numbers work.
yeah.
It's like they started the song for people who can't count, and then it gets better from there. But even
Well, I think
ignoring the
it's
age of consent stuff, it's like I know what like if she was just 17, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I do know what you mean. You just said it. There's no alternative. Was
oh
she?
no. See, I think it's significantly worse than that. I hear it as like she was just 17. You know what I mean? Like as if we're all on the same page with
Well, look,
underage
when he
underage
says
women.
that, and then the song continues, he wants to fuck the 17-year-old, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well,
So you
yeah,
don't
that's the whole
even
point of
need
the
to
song.
say you know what I mean, because there's a rest of a song about that.
Yeah. I don't feel good about this conversation.
You know what, yeah, let's go back to Jared Fogle jokes.
Let's that's right. Yeah, I oddly feel better about that. What if you had Alexa and it was channeling Jared Fogle? Well, I guess he's not dead. That'd be weird.
I'd be like, listen, I disagree about the kids, but the
Hmm.
Italian urban cheese bread is pretty good.
Not bad.
So if I were to say, if you're reincarnated, what I would do is molest fewer kids and
Hmm.
make more urban cheese breads.
More, yeah.
And yeah.
Hmm. Words to live by. Anyway, I guess we're done with this. No, this is good for them. Enjoy your mom's spirit coming through the Alexa. I guess this
Yeah, and
person's
honestly,
not
if
a
you're the
big
wife,
music fan.
honestly, fuck your husband in front of his mom's ghost. Make him call you mommy. And that's a power
Yeah,
move.
and
That's
see what it comes on the Alexa. See what mom has to say about that. No, these people obviously, this person's obviously not a music fan that they can't seem to remember the artist or title
yeah.
of any of the songs that their
What
mom
the
is
fuck is
playing
up
them,
with that?
which that seems a little right. Like,
It's
yeah,
not good.
no. And hopefully mom wasn't like a Yoko Ono fan or anything that shit's just going to pop on sometimes.
Yeah, like listen, my dad listens to this show, and my dad listens to some kind of shitty music. Like, not the worst music for a dad to listen to. My dad likes my dad likes the Avett Brothers. I didn't know anyone actually
Hmm.
liked the Avett Brothers, right? I thought the Avett
Hmm.
Brothers were one of those bands that kind of like comes on.
Yeah.
And my dad's like, Murdered in the City is one of my favorite songs. And I'm like, Murdered in the City is a song by a guy from Staten Island who's afraid to go on the ferry. So, like, I
Yeah.
don't know what that's about. So all I'm saying is,
Yeah.
Dad, if you die, number one, haunt Jason. I'm not getting a fucking Alexa.
No.
Number not Jason the co-host, Jason my
Oh,
brother.
sorry. Of course.
I
Yeah.
have a brother named Jason.
That's right. I knew
The
that.
co-host. We're just we're kind of brothers because we've touched peen, but it's not the same.
When did that? I don't want to know.
Because that's like being twins. Because it's like the umbilical cord connecting.
It's like it's attached. Sure. Sure. We're twins with a 30-year age gap.
That's sometimes it happens that way, Jason. Isn't the body of a woman a miracle?
Man, I want to make a joke, but I won't.
Do it. You
No, it's
fucking
mean.
coward. No, don't be a bitch. If you're listening in your car, say, Jason's a bitch. Jason's a bitch. Until he makes the joke, I'll start. Jason's a bitch.
Twins with a 30-year age gap. No wonder your mom died.
Yeah, she killed herself when she found out she had two podcaster sons.
I guess I can't do this.
I could do it all day.
Oh, fucking hell.
All right, we want to keep going?
Right. Yeah, let's we got one more, and then we're done. Um our final story this week comes to us from Boing Boing.
Boing,
Boingboing.net.
boing,
Yeah.
boing,
Boing
boing.
Boing.
Can I make a joke, Jason? This joke might be.
Please.
Sometimes I make a joke that's like really good and going to change comedy forever, and this is one of those
Yeah,
jokes.
I hope so.
All right, so Jason,
Huh?
are you sitting down?
Yeah.
You might want to stand up because your knees are going to give out from me making this joke, and you're going to sit down dramatically.
Okay.
Boing boing. That's the noise that I make when I see Jason's mom because my penis is getting hard because she's a gemilf.
Man, I fucking knew that's where that was going to go. And you're right. It's brilliant. No one's ever made a your mom joke.
It's not. No one's ever done it.
With that. Yeah. So.
Is your mom a gemilf?
Uh,
I know you don't have kids, but like, you know, as far as age bracket and fuckability goes.
Man, I don't think I can answer this.
I need to stay away from these high noon peach teas, man. This one's not even peach. This is just plain vodka iced tea.
I guess I could say my dad likes her. So.
Yeah. Is your dad a gadilf?
My dad sort of looks like Charles Bronson.
Let me see. Is Charles Bronson alive?
I don't believe so. And sort of, like very loosely.
All right, like at the end of his life, presumably, right? Because like your father, not to be graphic, but your father's at the end of his life, so I'm assuming. So I'm gonna look up Charles Bronson last photo.
No, like his height of his career.
Isn't your dad like 90?
No.
How old's your dad?
Oldest. Like 76, 75.
Okay, that out.
No, it's not that old. No.
Okay.
They're still pretty spry. They get around. Yeah. Don't have any.
They get around. Or are they looking for a third? Because I'm, you know, I live in Brooklyn, I don't know, so I'm like pretty open to the poly thing.
I don't know. They're retired, so I imagine they're probably looking for stuff to fill the hours. But no, I don't. Yeah. But no,
all right,
my dad,
Jason's parents,
like
let me
Bronson.
know if you're looking for a third Andrew Michaels comedy. You'll have to fly out to Brooklyn for a little bit, but eventually I'll fly out to Denver if you pay for, or to Beaver Creek if you pay for it.
They don't fly though, so that's not going to happen.
You'll have to take a train to New York, but eventually I'll take a fucking steamer to Beaver Creek.
Take a one of the river boats,
Cleveland or otherwise.
Right, the big wheeled river boat, one of them tall stacks.
I'll take the Panama Canal back up to you.
Yeah, it's a hell of a trip.
You know,
kind of a long way.
I'll take the Erie Canal. Sorry.
Yes, that's probably a little. That's probably closer to correct. Yeah. So Boing Boing. Boing Boing, written by Carla Sinclair. Can we? When did the trend of like naming websites and apps? After like a 4-year-old's imaginary friend.
I think the 2010s. I think that's like a 2010s millennial hipster thing. So I was born in 1995. So whether I'm millennial or Gen Z depends on like who's being more annoying that day. And I think that is a millennial thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm Gen Z, so I wouldn't know about it.
Right. What do Gen Z name apps?
We call things like
you just drop vowels out of the
we call things like bruh, and we call things like no cap. Yes, skibbity. We call things like skibbity and shit like that. You wouldn't get it, man, because you're not part of the generation. You know, you're different.
I'm not. Yeah. Nope. Anyway, headline. Man sees demon and freaks out on American Airlines flight. Screams, throws punches, and eats rosary beads.
All right. So first, is this what Mark? You know how Mark Wahlberg says he would have things would have gone differently if he was on the flight during 9/11?
Right.
I think this is what he would have done.
At least we're getting back to our roots with something kind of sort of paranormal.
Yeah, we haven't done something paranormal in a while besides the advice.
Yeah. An American Airlines passenger headed to Miami from Savannah flew into frenzy just after takeoff Monday night.
That's a drivable distance. You could definitely take a bus. Savannah to Miami?
It's got to be.
How long is the drive? Savannah to Miami drive?
4 or 5 hours.
That's not worth flying.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if
it's business, maybe. It's at 7-hour drive, so actually you might want to fly.
No, that's pretty. Yeah. I thought, flew into a frenzy just after takeoff Monday night when he realized who else was on board. A demonic spirit.
Oh,
or so
man.
he thought.
Listen.
We've all been there.
The only flight that you should see a demonic spirit, this joke also might be too good for the podcast. Are you ready for it, Jason?
All right.
Listeners, are you ready for it? Dad, I don't want your heart to give out while I make this
pull
joke.
over.
I couldn't
if you're driving,
myself.
Pull over.
Yeah, Dad, stop the Wall Street wheeling and dealing. The only flight that you should see a spirit is on Spirit because the tickets are cheap.
That's not bad. That's not a bad joke.
One of the best jokes ever made. Some would say a Carlinian joke.
Some might say that. The sight of the dark presence caused a horrified gentleman to kick the seat in front of him as he screamed, trembled, and began to swallow his rosary beads. At first, the other 7
Are
or 8
you supposed to,
passengers
Jason?
on the regional flight.
Jason, you grew up. You're Catholic. You're more Catholic than me.
No,
rosary
you're not
beads.
supposed to eat. You're not supposed to eat them.
Are they edible? Are they like boba?
No. I mean, they're not specifically edible. They are the right size, though.
What's the flavor profile?
I want to say plastic.
Okay.
Hard plastic.
I like microplastics.
Like, that's good because you're probably full of them.
Dude, I was drinking a rainbow sherbet flavored energy drink this very morning. Shout out to Rise Rainbow Sherbet energy drinks. If I didn't have you in 2024, I would have killed myself. But like, dude, I was drinking it and I was like, this is so good. And there are so many microplastics in it. I don't fucking care.
That's
yum,
right.
nom, 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 nom. I'm like Pac-Man and these are my pellets.
Our bodies are never going to decompose. That's gonna be like the next problem is like, what do we do with all these corpses?
Growing
people
up,
die. We can't.
Growing up, I used to look at my Spider-Man action figures and say, I want to be just like you. And now I've done it.
Getting there. That's right. At first, yeah, and 7 or 8 passengers. Man, that's a tiny ass.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What's the Savannah airport? You know,
it's got to be just regional, right?
All right, like I've lived in kind of buttfuck nowhere before. I lived in buttfuck nowhere when we started this podcast. Sometimes divorce is good. You got to fly out of Charleston.
Yeah. Is that near Savannah?
Charleston's closer to Savannah than the next nearest airport, which would be Jacksonville. Atlanta's way further than Charleston. Charleston is Savannah to Charleston. This is the map corner of the podcast.
That's right.
Savannah to Charleston, 2-hour drive. Savannah to Atlanta, 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
So you learn something new every day, you close-minded, boorish simpleton.
Shit. What was that? Oh, I was reading. First, 7 or 8 passengers on the regional flight thought he was having a seizure, but then he became violent. As attendants approached the man, DeLonge Austin, 31, he kicked one of them in the chest so hard that the attendant tumbled across the aisle.
Can I just say something? As a man who's rapidly approaching 30 doing this podcast, it's gotten scarier by the day. Because when this podcast started, I was 28. I just turned 28. Mm-hmm. And I was too young to have this sort of freak out. And I turned 30 this year. This guy's 31. I'm freak out age. I'm freak out. I don't think I'm going to have one. I think I've been through a lot in my life and I haven't had a freak out yet, but I'm freak out age. And that worries me.
Kicked the attendant so hard, tumbled across the aisle and into a window on the other side of the plane, reports the New York Times. That's when the cabin crew realized that Mr. Augustin, who was traveling with his sister, was not having a medical emergency.
Dude,
I would argue that's evidence to the fact there is an emergency happening.
You know what I would argue? If you have a weird sibling and that you're giving another shot, do it by land.
Right. Maybe they could have taken
Give him a chance, but do it. Don't even take the train. Meet up at a Culver's.
Just say, I'll see you in Miami. You figure it out.
I would suggest the bus.
Yep. From the New York Times. And here, boing boing, we're either sort of biting their thing or they're biting ours in that they're just making content by quoting someone else's.
This is not
media.
No, you need to podcast to do that.
Yeah. Well, we're also offering like insightful commentary and analysis.
Yeah, we offer expert level analysis not seen since Nancy Grace.
That's right. Here's a fun word. Disembarkation from the jet spiraled into chaos when Mr. Augustin stormed to the front of the plane and threw several wild punches at a flight attendant before the door had been opened, the affidavit said. Several passengers helped to wrestle him and his sister to the ground. What the fuck's his sister doing that she needs to be wrestled? Or they're just like, fuck them all.
She agrees about the demons. That makes it more accountable. Dude.
Then the authorities learned that Mr. Augustin had swallowed the rosary beads. So he was taken to a hospital where he was evaluated and discharged to a county detention center.
All right.
His medical condition was not immediately clear as of Tuesday night.
So listen, are rosary beads good for you? The media might not want you to know.
Mm-hmm.
So my take now, Jason.
Yeah. For
me, if I see a demon on a plane, right? Maybe this is for me, like just a Jewish guy. I'm like, look, like, I'm just not going to talk to him. That's my thing, right? If you see a demon on a plane, you don't need to do all this. Just don't talk to the fucking demon. Just like, watch Paul Blart get to fucking Miami. It's a 2-hour flight. It's less than a 2-hour flight. Just wait out the fucking demon.
Right. Well, there's a little more information about that. In the detention center, Mr. Augustin's sister told the authorities they had been traveling to Haiti to, quote, flee religious attacks of a spiritual nature, according to the affidavit. Mr. Augustin had told his sister to, quote, to close her eyes and pray because Satan's disciples had followed them onto the plane. And the Legion did not want the Augustins to make it to Haiti, it said.
Man.
He swallowed the rosary beads, quote, because they are a weapon of strength in the spiritual warfare, Mrs. Augustin's sister said. Whether or not the beads...
So you don't swallow that, though. Sorry. Like, if I'm getting attacked, I'm not eating my gun.
Right. Whether or not the beads helped rid the aircraft of the sinister spirit is unclear, but what is clear is the man was arrested, charged with misdemeanor battery, misdemeanor obstruction of law enforcement, felony count of criminal property damage. Man. Fortunately, according to reports, nobody was badly hurt.
You know what's sexist? Why do they call it a misdemeanor and not a misdemeanor? That's a little sexist.
I think you're right about that.
Yeah.
And also, okay.
You're welcome, women.
Fortunately, according to reports, nobody was badly injured. What? Isn't that like? I don't know.
What do you mean?
Like,
No,
maybe I don't.
fortunately it didn't work. What do you mean? Like, are you saying like I wish the demon was more injured? The demon was just trying to go to fucking Miami. Can
Well,
a
I'm
demon
saying
not
that,
go to
like,
Miami? Are you going to
I'm
tell
saying
Jeb Bush he
that's
can't go home?
can't go right. I guess what I'm saying is that's like a little bit of opinion inserted in here. Fortunately, like maybe I am indifferent if someone was badly
I see what
injured.
you're saying, and I actually want to take back my Jeb Bush comments
why?
because Jeb Bush is not a demon. He's just a demon. He's just
He's
a pussy demon. He's just a
yeah,
demon when it comes to slaying pussy, and that
that's
we
right.
can't
Yeah,
begrudge Jeb that.
you can tell
I'm
by
going to
looking
say,
at him.
fortunately, nobody was badly injured, Jason,
No,
because I
yeah,
wish our listeners, demon and non-demon alike, well, and I thank them for listening
for listening.
to what
Sure,
some would call a podcast.
I think some would be correct if they identified it as podcast.
I don't know about that. It remains to be seen. You can follow us, Andrew Michaels Comedy, Jason V. Strong, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Blue Sky, and me on Twitter.
Yep.
Not him on YouTube.
No.
But,
Not
some
me
combination
on
of
Twitter.
all of us on all of those platforms and Underworld News Tonight, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Blue Sky? I think we're on Blue Sky.
Yeah, we're on Blue Sky.
Yeah, and we're not on Twitter. I'm
No.
barely on Twitter.
No.
Sometimes I'm on Twitter. I shouldn't be. But that's besides the point. Jason?
Yeah.
Life is a complicated thing because sometimes everything is going well, and then there's a demon on your plane.
Right.
What are you going to do?
Got to eat a rosary.
Got to eat a rosary.
Mm-hmm.
And what's our advice to our listeners? Should they just eat rosaries left and right? Should you eat a rosary every day?
Probably not every day. That seems like you'd be asking for a surgery at some point.
Yeah.
They gotta fish those fuckers out. Yeah, I don't know. I guess my advice would be, we got the Sack Squatch tour, nationwide tour coming up.
See, Sack Squatch.
There's a bright spot. You can go check out Sack Squatch. Yeah.
And I can't give advice on spiritual warfare. Do you know why I can't give advice on spiritual warfare, Jason?
I'd like to hear why.
I'm glad you asked. I don't practice Santeria. I ain't got no crystal ball. Well, I had $1 million, but I'd spend it all if I could find that Hannah. Then that Sancho that she's found. Well, I pop a cap in Sancho and I'd slap her down. What I really want to know.
I think we're getting into actionable territory.